So in this video, the plan is to put my buddy's 350 back together and to do an unboxing. So for people that are watching not live, I highly suggest you watch live. It's a whole lot more fun. Kind of boring if you're not live, you know. Bring you up over here on my phone. And basically away we go, I think. One of the benefits to watching live is that you can interact and ask questions, and hopefully I see them. Yeah. Here we are. Cool. Put you right there. So this 350 is basically got to go back together. Just got to be reassembled, more or less. And so let's work on that. So how's everybody doing? It's 4:30. Day before Thanksgiving. And what I'll do is I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here, because I'm going to wait for some people to show up. Sometimes we have plenty of people that show up, and sometimes not. No, I didn't do. Hey, William. You know, William, I was going to ask you something. Shucks. I don't remember what it was. And Craig's here. Hey, Bob. Been a while. Got a box over here from HL Supply. Gonna work on opening that. But I figured I'd throw this 350 back together and see how she does, you know? It'll only take me a few minutes. You know what I'm not liking? This decomp. Looks kind of corroded looking. I'm going to go throw that in the ultrasonic. I happen to have a few in the ultrasonic that should do nicely, so let me put that on there. Hey, Steve. Break. Up. We have our moderator. Hey, James. Welcome. Hey, Brandon. So I'm just going to put that back on in here. If the threads aren't too screwed up. Did Mega show up? Mega's here. Definitely don't want to over torque this. So in case anybody's not up to speed, the other 350 I was working on was the one I was having an issue with the base sealing. And there's always an emphasis. So I've seen online there's an emphasis on getting the riser block completely flat on the bottom. But what if the base itself, the actual plastic on the underside, isn't flat? And that was the issue I was having getting it to seal. That's good, Mega. Do a happy dance for yourself. You're so glad you showed up, you know? I could mill the plastic case, but the Bridgeport is down at my folks, and I mean, it was certainly an idea, a good one, you know. Mega, get a question. Go for it. You got a dentist question. Okay. I will see if I can answer it legally online. Just getting the AV mount out of the way here. Then I'm going to put the line here for the primer bulb goes on there first. Then we can line everything else up. Yeah, that didn't come off. Okay, good. Just get the line back on there. Is it usual to have an uncomfortable gums when teeth have been pulled a week later? Yeah, you know, you're injured. So, some people feel great a week later. Some people, it takes a little bit longer to heal. Usually at like 2 weeks, you're good. And at 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere in there, it's like, oh, it was always like that. Your body just kind of accepts it, if you know what I mean. I think I'm at the point where pretty much, I'm pretty sure like nothing in dentistry is normal. There's usual. Certain things usually happen, you know, but what's normal is more of a difficult thing to define. You know what I mean? Usually if you have something like a dry socket, then the pain is getting rapidly worse 3 or 4 days after surgery. And that's definitely something that you don't, you know, it's not ignorable, you know. It's basically not possible for you to ignore something like that. Okay. Steve, I will disagree. The reason a dry socket is actually, if you're going to have a complication, the dry socket is the #1 complication you actually want to have. Want to know why? Hey, Larry. How you feeling? So a dry socket is the one complication you want to have. The reason is because there's no long-term issues with having dry sockets. The pain comes and it goes, and you don't worry about it after that. Don't want to. Hang on. Good pain pills. Okay. Yeah, the one, I mean, it's not that dry sock is desirable necessarily, but everybody's freaked out by it. I hear it all the time. People are really kind of really freaked out by it, but it's like the one thing you don't need to be worried about. Because it's pain. Pain goes away. And everybody somehow just misses that. You know what I mean? You guys see what I'm saying? You might not. You might disagree with me. It's okay. But there's so many things in life that can go wrong that have permanent consequences. And dry sockets have no permanent consequences. Yeah, injured being hard. You know, you're injured. You're wounded. Be wounded. Act wounded. That's okay. You know? Nothing wrong with acting wounded. Where's Fred? I don't know. I haven't seen him. That's say it's not frustrating, Mega. It's frustrating. I hate feeling useless because that's how I feel when I'm wounded. Pretty rough feeling. I'm just working here, so, you know, if you guys have any questions or anything, you're welcome to ask. Carburetor I had all cleaned out before. Everything's tight. The second AV mount, I just use a screwdriver to carve out, or whatever you want to call it. I always threatened myself with building a shoehorn to do this, but never got around to it. Yeah, I know what it's like to be injured. I understand, Mega. It's not a good feeling. It really is not a good feeling to feel useless. But I fully understand it. So what's Iron Horse doing for a Frankenstein build? Cool. Fuel line goes on. .066 cylinder, 372 carbon intake. Well, I think the 372 carbs are interchangeable with the 7900, or sort of. So that doesn't surprise me. Don't know why you'd do an .066 cylinder on it, though. I mean, if it fits, why not, right? Yeah, I know you can interchange stuff. It's not easy, but sometimes it's really dang difficult. But if you do all the proper machine work, it goes together. Missed one thing. Ignition. It's got to be in the right spot. There we go. The coil wire needed to be tucked in like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just putting the cutoff wires here, the ignition wires. What do I call them? Shorting leads. Shorting leads. That's sufficiently stupid. Should just slide on. Thing with primer bulbs, things get in the way. There. Done. There we go. That goes on there like that. Okay. Next. Muffler. Well, Mega, to answer the question, the once the source of the infection is gone, then you're basically it's up to your body to clean up the rest of it. So if you had an infection and your teeth was the source of the infection, once you get rid of the source of the infection, then it's up to your body to heal. You can still have infection in there. That's possible. Well, to you, what it feels like is it's inflamed. The question is it just healing, or are you actually, infected? See what I'm saying? Yeah, you can rinse with peroxide. I don't recommend doing it too often, but you can do it. Sorry, I'm just going cuckoo. Yes, it's possible you could get infected, because if your body doesn't heal in just the right way, then you probably could use a course of antibiotics. Some people end up in real trouble. They get real infected, and the bone gets infected and all kinds of other stuff. There's all kinds of different complications you can have. Most of the time that doesn't happen. But it's also scary enough that you don't want to take a chance. Okay. AVs are on both sides. Yes, but chronic fatigue does not necessarily mean that your immune system's down, Mega. So, I like to see my patients a week after surgery just to make sure they're healing well. So, you might want to, if you haven't gone back to see somebody, if there's been no follow-up visit, then you need a follow-up visit. That would be my thought. Yeah, Megan, that does sound like a good idea. You know, if you haven't been seen for a follow-up visit, you need to be seen. You know, my opinion. Brand new fuel filter. Time to break out the True Fuel. Big start, just in time for the pop, sure. There's fuel. There's the fuel. We might be doing pies tonight. So we'll see, Ken. So it's just like a $100 saw. Yeah. About $300 worth of labor, but whatever, you know, no big deal. The saw literally looks like it was stored under the deck. In the rain, effectively. So she's back together, but now I gotta find a chain. All that stuff. So the chain we got here is kind of shot. I'm gonna put that down for the moment. I'll call that reasonable. Might as well do an unboxing. Didn't get that much, but I got a few things. .372 gasket set for this project over here. On 372s, these black pieces always seem to get worn. And these, the bushings, those are always kind of an issue, so. Got a 28-inch scabbard. Most importantly, the new 350 cylinder. Dan McDermott, 4.5. Either 4 or 4.5. Now you're challenging me. Hang on a second. Supposed to do that this early in the morning. Hi, it's afternoon. That stuff there is 4.5. On the 350 here, what do I got? Let's find out. I ran out of 4.5. So this is 4.5, but that looks like number 4. Number 4 rope. It's about 3.5 mil. That's 4.5, but yeah. So I'd say this is number 4 wire, or number 4 starter cord on the other 350 here. This is 4.5, which I had run out of. And I usually use this on the bigger stuff, 394, 372. Okay. Well, now that I have a bevy of 288 parts, clean up a little bit, and we'll get back to this 350 here. Dan, I'm glad I helped somebody. Have fun putting them together. So this is a 346 XP clone cylinder. So what I look for, I'll show you. The bevels aren't too bad. Port shape isn't too bad either. So what you got to do here is put a ring in there and see how even it is. Put the ring. That's pretty lucky, Dan. Very nice. Important to not pay too much. So what I like to do, get a ring on in here and press it down and you just press it down evenly. You're not necessarily going for port timing specifically, but you can use the ring to check evenness, you know. So better light here because this is not working. So can you guys see that? So that's pretty even there with the ports. But if you go to the other side, hey Nikki, let's see if I can get this. See. There. So this port here, a little thicker looking, so it's going to open a little bit slow. You want to grind on that to make it open a little faster. So it's got to be ground down a bit. So what I like to do, take my Sharpie, and you just draw in here, and this is not an absolute. It's just a reference line. Now we got a reference line. So now I grind according to what I think I need to grind to on that reference line. So now we need a right angle. I'm not intending to do lots of port work here. That's not the idea. I just want to get it a little more even. going for smoothness and evenness. Good. Now I can come in here with my ball diamond. And make sure the bevel's good. And then that's that. Yeah, this is the Warhawk 346 cylinder from HL Supply. And I kind of like this the cylinder, but you know, the first one that I got was like amazing. This one looks like it's okay. It'll certainly be okay after a little bit of port work here. I fully expect to do port work on every single aftermarket head that I buy. You know, I do expect OEM heads I can just slap it on and go and have it be pretty good, but just using a ball diamond here to make sure the bevels are even. Yeah, these are the quad port. This is like a direct clone of the 346 XP. Now I just want to see the exhaust and how even that is. The answer is pretty darn even. So I'm not even going to mess with that. Is it grinding fun? It's interesting. It's kind of Sakido diagram. Howdy. Welcome. 15 people here watching me mess around with a 350. The intake is not super even, but respect from Hungry. What's going on, man? I'm gonna call this. You know, if I'm grinding on this, I'm gonna spend hours. Fine, but this is not something that I'm gonna do that on. So, what I do need to do on this. So this is a Warhawk 346 XP clone. I think for the money, this is pretty darn good. Hey, Patrick. Sorry. Yeah. 19 people here playing around. So I got a bevel here where the impulse nipple goes in. I really don't like having that not beveled. I love being able to just slide that nipple right in there and it'll be much better. Druba Inc. Howdy. Welcome. Wow, is there anybody here I didn't give a shout out to? Hungry. Zach, I did give you a shout out to. Druba. I don't know how to pronounce, so forgive me. My wife is calling. Hang on a second, guys. I'll be back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back. Hang on. I need a drink anyway. here I come. Donuts now. That is going to hit the pot. Yeah. Oh, man. Oof. Okay. So here we've got the head. Got a good squeeze out on the 1184 all around. Hopefully that holds now, you know? I'm going to go wash this head and then make sure all the chips are out. Good night. Yeah, Dan, OEM clips, and I'll use an OEM pin bearing as well. Okay, one thing I've done on here is ground this away. And you can check this on here to make sure there's clearance, but you need to have clearance. The head needs to have clearance on the side here. That's all. Doesn't need much, but it's got to be. It's got to clear the crankcase. These nubs, the transfer ports, basically the bumps, can hit the case. So. What do I want to do next? Let's do the intake. Now, I forget who told me, but somebody a while ago told me that it was a good idea to do the rubber first and then put that on. A funny fin on the cylinder. A little bent here. Looks fine to me though. Is James here with the link? There's a link. Ken, can you post the link that James posts to HL Supply? Yeah, but Ken should be able to post the link. James got it. Okay, good. Thanks. So you can use the link to go to HL Supply, and then you can buy this head from there. Yeah, so the suggestion was to put the rubber on first. And to put this part on. So I apparently also need to do is undo this plastic piece. Hey, Barnyard's here. Hey, Barnyard. I don't know if they ship international. They might be expensive. They have OEM parts. They have aftermarket, kind of whatever you want there. This is an aftermarket head, but you can get the original head if you like. Cool. Of course, I forgot to put it on with Loctite. So let's get the Loctite. I like Loctite 518 on here. It really sticks rubber to metal pretty well. Don't need much, just it's this nipple right here that's really important to make sure it goes in there just right. Good. Now this goes into there. Sit down home. Now, where's my clamp? So this metal clamp is always a challenge for people. It's not that bad, but it is a little bit annoying. And I like to use lineman's pliers to do this. once it goes over, it sticks. But now you also have to rotate this around so that it doesn't interfere with here. And the best tool I found to do that is also lineman's pliers, or it's actually channel locks. Channel locks. I have a usual set of channel locks that I use, but they seem to have gotten legs. I'm going to use my Mondo channel locks here. Really big ones. First I squish it down just a little bit, just to make sure it's just for sure locked in. And then should be able just to rotate it around. Yeah. So it's rotated kind of into that position is where you want it. No, that's my kid doing the race car thing. But once this is grabbed, it's grabbed. And it's good, you know? As opposed to the old plastic clamp, which was terrible. Always a good time to inspect this little guy. This impulse line here is very short, but it's also a really important piece. It's actually a molded piece, so you got to make sure that it's good. Do I like DeWalt tools? Depends on the tool. I like my little Impact. That's for sure. It's not quite powerful enough to do lug nuts. It'll do them, but it's a bit of a struggle. All right. OEM circlips. Head bolts. These head bolts are specially ground and shortened to make sure that they don't bottom before they actually cinch the cylinder down. So yeah, I do use the 350 intake carbon tract on this one. On others, you can use the 359 tract. Now what we can do is make sure our surfaces are clean and degreased. Hmm. Craig, have a great night. The ring. There you go. If you want to get fancy, you can use a meteor piston. Probably a good idea in general. Now, one thing I've kind of enjoyed doing is putting the piston in the cylinder just like that as we kind of get ready to cinch this down, you know. Yes, I do like Lyman spliers and all other things. Piston pin bearing. This is an original. A little bit of lubrication on it. Red Loctite. For the bolt holes. Oh dear, too much. Okay. Now we break out our 1184. Now, if you're doing a base gasket, which I am, you do not necessarily need 1184. But I don't think there's any harm in it any either. It's a little more annoying to take it apart later. But I'm not that worried about that. There's actually some things on here that I have not mentioned because I kind of forgot about, but there's a bump right here on the riser block, and if you're doing a 346 XP cylinder head, you're going to need that bump. You have to drill out a bump so that there is space right here for the impulse. If you somehow neglect that, you're not going to get any impulse. Beer Ghost, how are you? Actually, I can't believe HL Supply came this quickly, so I ordered Sunday night. They shipped Monday. It's Wednesday evening. I got it, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I use 1184 quite a bit on these things, and this was like the only example I would say of an actual 1184 failure. But I don't think it was 1184's fault. I think it was the fact that the chassis itself was not flat. That was the problem. Base gasket down. And I did neglect to put one of these clips in. It's nice to put one in first. Usually the one on the PTO side is the hardest to get to. I'll put the circlip in. I like to have the ears down, just because. That's out of the way. This is all together. Really crucial to have this part on when you go to do this. Put a little bit of, just a little bit of lube on the bearings just to get them started. That's all that this is. You know, you just want to get them over the initial startup. And as soon as oil gets in there, they'll be fine. You go to the Monroe Diner there, Ken? Take care, Boneyard. Enjoy your dinner, Ken. Wrist pin. Gonna bring this up. Sometimes it's easier to do it this way, and sometimes it's not. There. Wrist pin goes in. Go to Galaxy? Okay. Sometimes you can let it rest, and that helps. Get your last circlip in here. Some clips are harder than others. Takes practice. Okay, we got the goops, we got the gasket, we got both clips. The ears are down. The clips both spin freely. Bring your piston down, basically to bottom dead center. And don't cinch it all the way. Get a bolt. one started, and we'll get the other started. Very slowly bring it down. Slow and even. Almost done here. A little bit of grease on the tip on the Allen helps hold the bolt if you're challenged like that, you know. Yeah, we have squeeze out. That's good. One, two, three, four. We don't have a head slapper. That's good. A little bit of blue Loctite on the AV mount. No problem, Nikki. Having a good old time here, you know. There's a lot of little things in here that are just kind of pain in the necks. Shortening the bolts is important. Having that little bump so that you actually have an impulse passage when you switch heads. You go to the 346 head as opposed to the 350 head. Little stuff like that can make just a world of difference. What to do next? Probably put the tank on. It's all dirty and whatnot, but oh well. Happy to hang out with you, Nikki. Fortunately, right now, I'm basically into stuff that's, for the most part, well within my comfort zone, you know? Not really doing a lot of venturing out. You know, to doing stuff that I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, type of thing. There's gas in there. Thanks, guys. Like I said, I'm having fun hanging out with you guys. I only have so much time to hang out, and I only have so many projects at this point, you know? But I do what I can. I have a sneaky feeling we're going to be doing apples tonight. So I have to go upstairs and check with my wife on that and see what the overall plan is, you know what I mean? Auto-tune to spice things up. Now, you know, don't need to spice things up. I have no need to make things spicy. I just don't. Put this crib in. I should do. I should take a break from this, just because I should. Yeah, I know it's dripping. Should take a break from this and go see what my wife is doing. If I can, I will be on later, and we will be doing apples. So, I don't know if I'll get this to pop tonight, but we'll see. Right now, I'm thinking I need a break. You know, we're almost there. We're almost home, but let's take a break from this. So I'm gonna go up and see what the family's doing. If I can, I'll be on later with apples, and yeah, we'll basically go from there. Questions, comments, anything else, guys? All right, you guys have a great evening. If I don't see you, have a happy Thanksgiving and all that fun stuff. Be safe out there, and we'll get this done as soon as I get a little more, ambition in the tank here. Anyway, have a great one, guys. And if I can, I'll be on later. We'll do some apples. Later. Bye.